Okay, second part of learning objective 1 is in the previous one we looked at user groups and we looked at barriers to stop people participating in exercise. Now we're looking at solutions. Okay, solutions means how they might overcome the barrier. So how to eliminate those barriers by using a couple of different ways. So that's the main thing that we'll be looking at in this one. So you've got the word provision. So you need to know what the word provision is and what it means. So provision means what is available and when it's available. So making sure that those user groups know what is available and when it's available. And it comes under 3 categories. So programming specific sessions for user groups. Okay, for example, a Saturday morning, a sports complex might go, we want to target wheelchair sports and raise that participation in wheelchair sports. So they might on a Saturday morning for maybe 1 hour offer wheelchair football indoors. And again, they'll open up to everyone, so you don't have to be physically disabled because there might not be that many people that want to do it. So they might say, okay, if you're able-bodied and you want to take part, not a problem, but they'll provide maybe with a wheelchair as well, so everyone's on the same level playing field. So it's targeting specific sessions for particular people. So you might have a yoga class or maybe a low impact class, so not so much harsh on your body for maybe someone who's retired or over 60. Then we've got providing appropriate activities, okay, for specific user groups. So appropriate activity for what won't be appropriate activities, maybe doing putting on a rugby festival for people 70 years and older, because it won't be appropriate for their age and their ability unless it was like a walking rugby, touch rugby. So you wouldn't have a full contact rugby match for people over 70. So it might be that they're offering midday, they might be offering appropriate activities for maybe the retired, let's stick with that, and they might say, okay, we'll offer yoga and maybe a spinning class. Okay, spinning class is when you're on a bike, but it's all low impact on the body. So it's appropriate for their age. For example, second one you might not have is a high intensity weight training. So maybe a HIIT, so high intensity training. Okay, looking at strength for children because it's not appropriate for them. And the final one, still looking under the words provision, is the timings. Okay, so specific planning, but timings to suit those different user groups. A really good example they've put in previous papers is a table with different activities on offer, yoga, spinning, weightlifting sessions, and then they say which user group would suit each session. And then they have times on there. So for example, during the day, they're probably targeting a very different user group compared to morning and evenings. So morning and evenings, they'll be targeting the people who work full time, people who may have families, teenagers that go to school, so they can have time in the morning and in the evening. Whereas during the day, they will probably target the unemployed, and they might target the retired. So making sure the timings suit the different user groups. So the second area is promotion. So how can a fitness centre promote targeting to raise participation and overcome those barriers? So it's about targeted promotion. So it's not just general, we're not promoting just generally, we're looking at specific user groups, how can we target them? That could be through television, so adverts targeted for the retired will be on during the day. Adverts targeted to teenagers will be early evening, so from 4 till 6, 7 o'clock, and then adverts targeting maybe full-time working parents or parents in general might be in the evenings. But it's also it's to increase visibility, okay, for those different user groups. So they're trying to get as many eyes they can seeing what's on when it's on. And that could be radio, buses, local sports centres, posters. Second one is promotion through, so we're still looking at this word promotion through positive role models. Okay, I'll put a little plus there. So positive role models, not negative. Because a positive role model, for example, David Beckham will encourage more people to participate in exercise, and he's quite a general one. You might have someone under 16s on TV, and they might be promoting sport for people under 16. So it's having good role models to encourage participation. A particular one was the Paralympics is a good example. For the swimming we did really well, and I've forgotten the young lady's name, but she was really successful, and that raised the profile of swimming for the disability, or the user group, the disabled. And then the final one, again, look at promotion through initiatives. Okay, that word initiatives means over 6 months to a year, they're looking to target a particular user group, and they're looking to increase participation for that user group through new initiatives. Like Sport Relief is an initiative, Respect the Ref in football is an initiative. Okay, 2 seconds please. Okay, initiatives. These are aimed to promote participation through inclusion. Okay, inclusion means not excluding anyone. So, for example, if you did a rugby match, you can't exclude everyone. It's got to be open to everyone. They might advertise a free swimming for under 16s to target under 16s. Okay, so looking at free swimming sessions to give them a taster to then get to maybe carry on that sport. And the last one we're looking at is access. So access is how can we help people do the activity. So we've got access to facilities, okay, which goes on with maybe providing transport, make sure we've got ramps in the area, so we've got wheelchair access, transport if we live in a rural location we mentioned earlier, so maybe they'll have to provide free travel. And also looking at access to equipment, okay, so things like a hoist for someone physically disabled to lower them into the pool. It might be that they got shorter, smaller steps to go slowly down into the pool. Okay, maybe it might be that under 12s team has got a smaller size football. Okay, so it's appropriate equipment, and they've got access to the equipment. And the last one we've got is sensible pricing and concessions. This is really targeting loads of different user groups. So you think about the unemployed, you think about teenagers, you think about people that are retired with a lack of income, so low income. Okay, anyone with low income. So that's who they're looking at. So they might have pricing reductions, so reducing costs to target those people to try and make them access some sort of exercise.